We have an opportunity to curate our own museum. And someone left that for me in the comments really early on, one of my first videos or second videos. And I loved that idea and concept. And the museum and sealed product is one of the things I want to talk about today. And this is purely from a collector's perspective. I feel like I'm saying that on most videos now, but there's lots of new people coming in all the time. And so please, please like and subscribe. Fantastic to have over 500 of you subscribed now. But yeah, really appreciate you coming along for the journey. But I wanted to discuss sealed product today. And I don't think this is controversial. It shouldn't be. I think this is, well, I'm pretty confident this is from a collector, which is what I believe I am. I'm not saying you should go out and buy tons of sealed products and just hoard it. That is not what I'm saying. If you want to just purely invest, then you go for that. That's totally up to you. And you could argue that's what I'm doing by having a sealed box. But think about what's been going on recently and think about collectibles more broadly. Let's engage with that topic. And if this is not a video to convince you, but let me just provide some context and background and let's think more broadly about collectibles. What have we seen, right? People, if you bought a 2007 iPhone, kept it sealed, didn't touch it, a few years ago they started going for $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. I believe there was a recent sale over $100,000 for an iPhone. And you're thinking, if you open that, if you use that iPhone in 2007, it's worth £20. It's a scratched, battered old iPhone that no one wants, that probably doesn't even switch on anymore. But if you kept it sealed, that's like a pristine piece of history, something that somebody wants to either collect or experience or for whatever reason. But it's somebody that can own a day one piece of history for the first time. And that's what you're getting with sealed product. And you've seen it with Pokemon, we've seen it in other TCGs. Sealed product isn't impacted as heavily with the market swings. Okay, so if you think about OPO1 now selling for $5,500 a box. Okay, now we've seen quite a big dip in the market for singles. So I wanted to think about singles versus sealed, and then also like actually where are you safer in singles. Now I just want to preface this by saying collect what you want to collect, go for it. I'm not telling you should only collect these cards. I'm just giving you my opinion of what is a safer bet in terms of what you're collecting if you care about value of your collection. Okay, if you're not bothered at all about the value, then this video is not for you. Okay, I have sealed product. I looked and I thought to myself, okay, I'll tell you what, now the price have dipped, why don't I might start ripping some older boxes. They haven't dropped in value. The drop off has been tiny. It's like 5%. Singles, some singles have dropped 20, 30, 40, 50% down on when they were at their peak a month ago or 6 weeks ago. They've dropped off by 50%, some of these frothy cards. And interestingly, everyone that was saying to me, you're stupid for collecting Japanese, whether it's on forums or in the comments or whatever, and this is not a told you so moment, but Japanese has not been as impacted. The swing, they're not as frothy, they don't double, triple and balloon in value, but they're much more stable. And the other thing with singles is, we have seen that not all of these singles are equal in terms of SPs and even mangas. Okay, mangas you've seen definitely because there was such a swing. You have seen a significant drop off in some of them. But if you look at the SPs, like the popular characters like your Nami and your Boa, those SPs, particularly in Japanese, they've held value. If you look at this battle promo, and I keep going on about battle promos, but this Zoro, yeah, I paid 50 US for this. This is still raw, going for $150, $160. It's not dropped. It's not dropped. The raw value of the card hasn't dropped because it's battle promos and championship cards and winners cards. There's only so many of them available. It's kind of, you know, they are actually a rare and scarce card. You know, there's genuine scarcity there. There's genuine scarcity and it's actually rare. So, you know, even with SPs, like there is a fair amount of them. I think a lot of these SPs, like if you're looking at SPs from OP14 that were like 200, you know, you could argue it's at pre-release, but even like a Weevil was at like 150, 200 US. It's down to like $50 or $60 now for the Weevil. So, but whereas the popular characters are still holding, now they have, but the singles you have seen a drop off. So I think with sealed, you know, whether you like collecting sealed or not, and I'm not saying to go and just buy tons of sealed product, but, and, you know, I'm almost overwhelmed. There seems to be so much opportunity out there now to get into the cards I wanted to get into a month ago. In the last video I discussed, you know, is sort of now a good time to buy, and are there opportunities, and why everyone's now fearful for collecting, even though everyone was calling for lower prices, and now how many people are actually buying. But sealed product, if it's close-ish to RRP, is always a good purchase. Like picking up OP14 where it is now, do I think long-term that will go up in value? And then you can do with it what you want. If it goes up 3 times or 4 times and you need the money, you can sell it. If you want to take that box that was, let's take OP05. Okay, I know that's probably a bad example because it's like the best set. But even if you look at like OP09, I still think that's gonna go higher in price. In like a year or two's time, how much would that box be worth? $1,000 maybe? In a year or two? If you then, I mean, you can keep, if you're a collector and you want one of every box, you can keep it for as long as you want to keep it, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. If you wanted to have it so that you want to get into a bigger card, you paid maybe RRP for it, or close to RRP, 150 US or 200 US for that box, and it's worth 1,000, you can then get into something, you could get into a slab you wanted to get into. My point is it gives you options, whereas there is really not a guarantee at all with singles. And the reason for that is going back to the historical historical piece of history thing. It's an I can't get the word out, sorry. An artifact, that's what I'm trying to say. It's a piece of history. And that's why OP01, now I bought, and you probably laugh at me in the comments now, and please do, happy to be laughed at, but I bought a pack of OP01, the pre-errata, which I've got here in a little display, which I thought was quite cool. So I've got a pre-errata OP01 and a EB01, both in English, because you can't get. I mean, the boxes, the booster boxes for me now are just totally out of my price range. They're so expensive. So I tend to try and get these boxes as close to RRP as I can, sub $200 ideally. Ideally around 150, but even the boxes that were under RRP at one point, when they were under RRP, I was just ripping them and I kept them. You know, even OP08, it's at like $120, $130 now. You know, there was a time where it was sub 100. So sealed product, and that's why I call my channel Sealed Treasure, because that's what I think it is. I think, you know, being able to build your own museum and display this is why I love displaying the cards rather than having a binder. It's like you've got a little piece of history here, and that's why I know not everyone loves slabs, and I know, you know, I do collect raw as well. I've got tons of raw cards, but for my favorite cards, I try and put them in a slab because then it's like protected and sealed. It's going to hold value, but it will not hold value in the same way as a booster box. Yeah, and it's also higher risk. You never know what's hot. One day something's hot, another day it's not. Sealed product, you know, over time, it's guaranteed brand new. It's in a seal. That's why people selling unsealed boxes, it's interesting. Let's see what happens. I'd be really interested to know You know, those people selling unsealed boxes, again, nothing against it. There was a player in the comments that said I had to sell 2 boxes to pay for my hobby. Hey, that's cool, dude. Go for it. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. There's no right or wrong way here. I'm just giving my view on it. I'm super interested in hearing your opinions. That's why I try and reply to everyone in the comments to understand your perspective, because I can only, you know, it's an echo chamber here. I can only have my own views, and that's why I love talking to everyone, and this is why I started a channel, to talk about the community. In between set release, this is like this is what excites me about the hobby, talking to you guys. But I'd be very interested to see what happens with that unsealed product over the next, what happens with that unsealed product. Like, someone is relying on selling that quite quickly, I'd imagine. Is anyone going to buy that unsealed product in 2 years' time? Like the box, the booster box, where Bandai ripped the seal to stop scalping. I wonder what will happen. And is that just going to put a premium on the sealed? There's already a small premium. So you can buy a booster box of EBO3 for about 200 unsealed. Sorry, about $250 unsealed. And it's about $320, $350 sealed in the UK. So it's about anywhere between 220 and 300 pounds. So 220 pounds for unsealed and about 300 pounds for sealed. So already there's like quite a significant difference between sealed and unsealed product already. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, that's why one of the reasons I don't collect. I love Japanese. Like, I think I'm gonna end up with a big Japanese collection, like in terms of the cards, but I just can't collect Japanese seal because it's just got that little tiny bit of sticky tape on it. Like, you're not guaranteeing someone brand new, because anyone can just peel off that little bit of sellotape and then just reseal it, and God knows what they're going to do with the cards inside. Whereas with the seal, particularly the newer boxes, you'll notice they've got Bandai cards written on the seal. Why do you think they put Bandai? I think from OP... I see OP12's got it, OP13's got it, OP09 doesn't, OP14 obviously does, but the newer sets have the PRBO2 doesn't. The newer sets have like a Bandai print on the seal, on the wrapping. Why do you think they do that? They do that to stop scalpers, or they stop bad actors from fake, creating fake boxes. A scam box where they put a fake, put a seal over the box and the cards inside aren't real, from copies. So I think it's interesting. The sealed product, it's actually amazing for me how unimpacted it's been and how unaffected it's been with the recent dip. And maybe everyone in the comments is going to say, oh yeah, of course. But it wasn't so obvious for me. Like, I knew long term that the boxes would hold value, but I kind of assumed that we'd see a bigger drop than we have. Like I said, I was online over the last few weeks going, oh, I'll just buy some of those booster boxes that I wanted. Like, let me get some EBO1 now. Maybe I'll get that EBO1 box that I really want. Ended up buying a pack because I still can't afford the booster. It's not dropped. It's not dropped at all. So if you are a collector and you are trying to get one of each box, you've got to try and buy stuff around as close to RRP as you can, around the time of release. Now, the only thing I would say right now, and I haven't bought any EBO3 yet, is because I just can't justify $350, £300 for a booster box that's just been released. It just feels wrong, especially when you've got like really great sets that aren't as much as that still. But yeah, all the booster boxes have done really well, and I think EBO2, OP09, OP11, OP12 is still relatively cheap. You can still pick that up quite cheap. OP14's stayed high-ish. It's dropped a bit from pre-release, but given the dip in the market, it's not dropped off significantly. I thought I'd be able to pick up a box for like 100, £20, like 150 US. It's still at £175, which is, I don't know, 220 US, 230 US in the UK market, that is. So yeah, I just wanted to think about sealed. Love to hear your opinions in the comments, and tell me, do you collect sealed? Do you have a sealed collection? Do you have do you collect, like I've said, I tend to rip a box and then keep a box sealed, or rip 2 boxes and keep 1 sealed. With EBO3, I will get one for my collection, but I'll probably just keep it sealed. I can't justify ripping it at that price, especially if it's going to continue to go up. It'd be interesting with EBO3 with the reprints. Will it even have a dent? One of the guys in the comments said he queued up at Bandai. I kind of be tempted to do that. I work in London in the city, so I might. I could be tempted to go to Camden and queue up and get an unsealed box and just rip it and have a bit of a queue for it. I wouldn't want to do 8 hours, but I think the queues in London were only an hour, something like that. So I can live with that. It's certainly not like the US where it's queuing around the corner. People camping, I heard. I mean, that is mental. I know that happens with Pokemon, but that's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I will get EBO3, but I'm going to wait to see what happens with the reprints, whether it will drop the price. I mean, let me know what you think. Do you think it will drop the price? Do you think the reprints will have any impact on OP13 or EBO3? We're not seeing it at the moment. I mean, we did see a drop off with EBO3, but I don't think we've seen any real drop with OP13 yet. Maybe that's because they haven't come yet, but there is a lot more product on the market. People are selling it. It was a bit of a race to the bottom with OP13, to be fair. So that's probably not the best time to be selling your sealed OP13 right now. And for those of you that did want to get into OP13, like, is now or in a few weeks' time, if you did want to pick up that 1 sealed box, is it going to do well long term? Who knows with the reprints? I don't think they're going to have capacity to print it into the ground. I imagine it's going to still be... well, it's a deflationary product. People rip it. I mean, just go on... Every time I look at Whatnot and you just go, like, there's just boxes and boxes and boxes being ripped, you're like, everyone that's got sealed product, this is great. Like, everyone ripping like 5, 6... boxes, case after case after case just being ripped. Like, it's deflationary. There's less and less of them available for every person that rips it. And I'm not saying you shouldn't rip. I rip everything if I can. I've been ripping everything since, I don't know, OPO5 or whatever it was. I was able to do that at that time. Yeah. Anyway, there's another, just quickly, several people have asked me in the comments to discuss Chinese. It's on my to-do list. There's so many things I want to talk about at the moment. And I've got another video coming up to discuss about EBO3 and look at Pokemon a little bit, because I think it's quite interesting what we're seeing in terms of with Ascended Heroes and EBO3 coming out at the same time. So I'm going to do a video on, it's not going to be a complete versus, but I'm going to have a look at it and just try and think about the why. Is it just about the supply and demand? Is it just basic economics, or is there more to it? Because, yeah, interested to talk about Ascended Heroes versus EBO3 because they've come out at exactly the same time. So, yeah, I think that would be an interesting one. So I've got loads of videos coming, and I just need to find time to talk about Chinese cards. I will do a video on Chinese, but I have spent so much energy looking into Japanese that I haven't spent enough time looking at Chinese. But in terms of singles, just quickly, where is a good bet for me right now in terms of singles? Okay, I don't want to talk about Chinese right now, but I think there is some opportunity there. I'll do a deeper dive on it. But guys, the battle promos, the championship cards, the winners cards, that is what I am going to be looking at. I've got my eye on a couple of cards. Obviously, I've got the Sabo winner battle promo here. We'll get it graded eventually. Obviously got the Zorro, but this is where, you know there's limited supply. Long term, I can just see these cards doing super well. Super well. And actually, it's sealed. Talking about sealed treasure. It's actually a sealed product. You don't actually even need to grade it if you don't want to. Some people prefer it like this, just in the seal from the factory. Anyway, yeah, please like and subscribe if you like the video. I'd love to hear your comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.